I think I'm going to be misquoted throughout this show, actually, about what I've said about Scotland, right? And you've got to
rightly so as well.
No, because I am being misquoted. What I am merely saying is the further north of the border you go, or the further north of London you go, right, you then struggle to attract bigger names. So Manchester and Liverpool, you can do it. London, obviously. But then Newcastle, Sunderland and Scotland, you have less chance of attracting a superstar than you would do if you were, for argument's sake, in London or in Manchester. I think that's just a fact. I think if you look at all the big names...
Beep, beep, beep.
No, I'm not going back. I stand by it.
Well, you're a numpty, according to Ali McCoy.
Yeah, but he's going to say that because he's Scottish. He's never...
Manchester or Scotland, he wouldn't last 2 minutes in Glasgow.
Well, I'm not looking for a
Number
fight.
2 city in UK. And what about the golf? He's right about the golf, you know.
Last 2 minutes. Like, how old's Ali McCoy? Is he 9? Oh, my dad's... I'm not looking for a fight, Mr. McCoy. I'm just saying. You're right, I wouldn't last 5 minutes. I'm just saying that just because a Scottish club will come down to the Premier League, it has nothing to do with whether or not they will be successful. That's all I'm saying. There's no guarantee.
I mean, Ali can come down to the studio.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't been in much of late.
Yeah.
But that's because something serious has been going on in the world. But it's quite easy to get here. 4 hours on a train, innit? 5 hours on a
just
train.
Ask yourself.
25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Just ask yourself why housing is more expensive in London. Why it's more expensive than Manchester. Why Manchester's more expensive than...
Well, the robbers if you want to buy a house in London, don't they? Because there's not as many properties.
I'm just saying. I'm arguing with facts. Everything is...
I'd rather live somewhere like Ali and have a country estate, a country pile with deer running through the garden and just be able to pop on a nice steady drive down to St Andrews and play 18 holes.
Yes, because you're not 22.
And then go on and play in the afternoon at King's Barn.
Yeah, but you're not 22.
And then on my day off I might go to Carnoustie.
Yeah, but you're not 22. If you've got a footballer that's living at the moment in Spain, okay, the weather, a prime example, the weather. The weather up north, predominantly...
hold on.
Isn't as
You've worked with Cundy too long.
No,
honestly, he has, hasn't he?
I'm just... Where would you rather... Put these in order where you'd rather live, right? Madrid, London, Manchester, Spain, Scotland.
Scotland.
Oh, shut up. Right, let's go to the phone line. Let's speak to Chris.
Manchester.
No, you're just saying it to annoy me.
Spain.
Yeah. And
London last.
Of course you would, yeah. Chris is in Livingston, joins us now. Hello, Chris. Good afternoon.
Evening, fellas. Well, Andy, let's just pull you right down about attracting players to Scotland before I make my point.
Right.
Let's go back to when Rangers were in their heyday, and I'll just throw names at you, right? Okay.
Hold on, what year are you going back to? The 60s?
We're going back to we're going 80s and 90s, so let's go with...
We're going back 30 years,
Chris
okay.
Woods. Let's go with Chris Woods, Terry Butcher, Trevor Stevens, Ronald De Boer, Frank De Boer. You've got Chris at Celtic, Henrik Larsson. So if you've got to say that these
hold on.
Players,
Henrik Larsson then went to Manchester and went to Barcelona. I mean, I could pick you up with all of these players. Gaza, at the end of his career, went to Scotland. Why aren't they coming in their peak, Chris? You listen, I don't want to have an argument about... But it's just a fact. It's just how Scottish football is at the moment. It's not my fault.
Andy, don't get me wrong. Scottish football is dire, and it has been for 25 years.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, if Rangers and Celtic had to come down to the Premier League, they would attract so much investment. They're massive clubs. They've got a bigger fan base than people like Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham. Massive big fan bases, as Goffey said. But
I disagree with you.
The British... Well, you go and check the facts, Andy.
No, but I disagree with you.
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you all day long.
Go and look at the official supporters club registers.
Sheikh Mansour would not rather buy Glasgow Rangers than Man City. I'm sorry.
If Rangers and Celtic were in the Premiership, they'd be lining up.
No, I disagree with you. I don't know where you've come up with that. How you've got that?
Because they would. It's a different type of investment.
No,
it's hard to attract investment at this moment in time.
But you're talking about
because
a big
it's
club.
A 2-league.
You're talking about a big club in Scotland.
2-team league.
They're a big... Exactly. They're not a big...
So if they're going into a league when there's 18 clubs...
Then they start again. What happens if they come down...
Anyway, back onto it quickly.
Jamie O'Hara said that Celtic would get relegated, right, this morning.
Well, yeah, that's for calls.
What happens if they do?
He said that for calls.
What happens if they do? What happens if one of the major Glasgow clubs, they get relegated into the Championship?
What happens if one of the major teams in the Premier League get relegated?
Yeah, but what I'm saying... But you're saying that if...
They come back up.
But if one of these clubs comes down to... If both these clubs come down to England, they'll be successful, they get major backers. Well, what if they're not successful? What happens to the backers then?
Well, my biggest thing, and we're failing to get to this, about all this, absolutely what we've been talking about this European Super League, and taking the best teams and putting them in their own league because they want to make more money. We're doing exactly the same. People are doing exactly the same. Is there going to be the same outcry for Celtic and Rangers to come and earn a lot more money into the Premier League and leave the Premiership and leave the other teams
That's what we need
in
to
the
focus
old,
on.
you know what?
That's what we need to focus on.